that they are, and we lose logical rationality.
Sandhan, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Today we are going to talk about a very important point which comes in statistics, which is called sampling. Now, when and where sampling has existed? The first and the very important thing is that whenever we talk about statistics, it means numbers, it means the data which comes out from the survey. From the survey, we actually mean the population, because the survey is usually done on population. The other word is universe. Now, whenever we have a very big population, survey becomes impractical, because then that becomes a census. Therefore, there is a very convenient situation and a solution for this, and it says that we can always go for sampling. Whenever there has to be a survey which has to be conducted on a population and it is impractical to contain and to follow all the elements of the population, we usually go for sampling. Talking about sampling, it's a very convenient method wherein you are not covering all the elements of the population, but you are taking out few elements from the population and then you are doing a survey on that. Whatever results come from the survey, where you have taken few elements out of the sample, we always assume that the result which is coming out from the sample is assumed to be true for the whole population. Our topic for today is stratified random sampling, which is nothing but a type of sampling. Whenever we talk about sampling can be basically of two types. One is the probability sampling and the second one is the non-probability sampling. Today in the presentation we are going to talk about few very important points, as in what is the meaning of strata, concept of stratified sampling, stratification, that's the process of stratified sampling, stratification and connect with the variables, as in how the variables are going to affect stratification. We would be understanding the process of stratified sampling, why stratification has to be done, and the most important point would be the types of stratified sampling, which will be proportionate and disproportionate sampling. So this is going to cover all the important points of stratified random sampling. Moving, we say that whenever you talk about sampling methods, there are basically two types of sampling methods. One is probability sampling and another one is non-probability sampling. As you can see here, the topic of today, which is stratified random sampling, it is coming under the tree of probability sampling. Whenever we talk about probability sampling, there are basically four methods of probability sampling, and stratified random sampling, as the name says, is one of the very important and very effective sampling method. Now, why we say that stratified random sampling is one of the very effective method? It is one of the improved type of probability sampling, because it is one of the best method under the tree of probability sampling. It involves more idea and more logic, as in whenever the stratified sampling is chosen, there are some logics, some ideas, more probability which is used to follow this particular method. So again, we would only be talking about stratified random sampling today. Whenever we say stratified random sampling, the term stratified, it comes from the word which is strata. So it is very important for us to understand what is the meaning of the word strata. Now the word strata, it says the total population, whenever it is divided into non-overlapping subgroups, then each of the subgroups is called a stratum, and two or more subgroups are called strata. As in that whenever we have a big population, a big universe, in other words, we say is a total population, then the whole population is divided into small groups. These small groups are called subpopulations. Whenever we divide the whole population into different subgroups, a single subgroup is called stratum. That's a singular term for a group. But when we have more than few groups, then the singular stratum becomes the strata. There's a very important word which I have mentioned is called non-overlapping, which says that whenever groups are being formed from the population, then the groups which are being framed should be unique in existence. There should not be any element common between the whole groups. So as we have understood what stratum is, we will now be able to see the definition of stratified sampling. So what basically is stratified sampling? Stratified sampling is a probability sampling technique wherein the researcher divides the entire population into different subgroups or strata. Now, stratified sampling basically depends upon the meaning of the word strata. Of course, we know that stratified sampling is one of the probability sampling technique, and who is using stratified sampling? A researcher is using the stratified sampling. So when the researcher divides the whole population into groups, into different stratas, into different layers, we say that he is using a stratified sampling. The randomly selected final sample elements, they are now taken from different stratas. As in, what we are saying is that whenever we have got a big population, from the big population different subgroups have to be formed, and from all these subgroups we are going to pick few elements, and now those sample elements will actually make the whole sample. So the concept of stratified sampling says, to be very clear, that whenever there is a big population, small subgroups, small subpopulations have to be made, and now from each subpopulation, single elements, maybe more than single elements, have to be taken out to form the final sample. Moving ahead, stratification is now the next term that we need to understand. So what is this stratification? It is the process of grouping members of the population into different subgroups before sampling. So we have just seen the definition of stratified random sampling, that is dividing the whole population into different groups. Now the process through which the whole population is divided into different groups, that process is basically called stratification. So what is basically done in stratification is, the elements in the sampling frame of the population, they are divided into layers, divided into groups, divided into stratas, and this is of course based on some pre-decided variables. As you can see, there is a very important term which is coming here, which is sampling frame. So what basically is a sampling frame? Sampling frame lists out the element of the whole population. Now if we are using stratification, which is a process of doing stratified sampling, our aim is to divide the elements of the population into different groups. Now if we are dividing elements into different groups, we need the listing of the elements, and this listing of elements basically is called a sampling frame. So using the sampling frame, we would be dividing the whole population into different groups, stratas, or maybe the layers, which is based on what? It is always based on some variables which has to be decided before. We would be talking more about variables in the topic to come. Next it says that strata must be non-overlapping, and together it should constitute the whole population. Two very important terminologies coming here. The first important term is non-overlapping, which says that whenever the whole population is divided into different subgroups, there should not be a single element which is common in different subgroups. That means there should be no intersection between the subpopulations or between the different subgroups. Each and every strata, in simple words, each and every subgroup or the subpopulation has to have a unique set of elements in it. Second important word which we can see here is that together whenever these subpopulations are constituted, it should form the whole population. That means the summation of the number of elements of the population, elements of the subgroup should constitute all the elements in the population. So basically it says that whenever you are making the groups, all the groups have to be separate enough, all the groups have to be unique, and whenever you combine all the groups, it should form the whole population. So that is what we say is the process of stratification. Moving ahead, we now are going to talk about a very, very simple example to understand what is the process of stratification. Now, if we assume that there is a class of school students and now the school students have to be divided into different groups, then the very, very simple way of dividing these school students would be on the basis of gender. Now, on the basis of gender, as you can see that there are two groups which are being formed. One is a group of girls and another is a group of boys. So if there is any survey which has to be done on these school students, then first of all, to get a very good solution or to get a very good inference, these school students can first be divided into two groups based again on gender, which is girls and boys. Second example again talks about the same thing, but this says that not necessarily you can divide the school students. It can actually be applicable on real life situations also. Now let us assume that there is a society which is full of members and there is a club which runs there. So a society club members can again be divided into two groups. Why we are dividing the society club members? Because if there has to be a survey which has to be done, then instead of taking the whole population, all the elements are divided into groups. Now as you can see again, which two groups have been made here? There are two groups. One is a group of women and another is a group of men. So what actually is the basic of division here? The basis of division here is again gender. On the basis of gender, the whole club society has been divided into very two convenient groups. One is group of women and another is a group of men. Now if we are going to compare both the examples, as in the example of school students and the example of society club members, you will find that in both the cases the population has been divided into two groups. In above example, group of girls and group of boys. In second example, it is group of men and group of women. So what is the basis of division? The basis of division is gender. And what is gender? Gender is a variable on the basis of which the stratification has been done. So this is one of the very simplest example which we have seen here. This is an example of stratification, as in how population can be divided into different groups. Now there is a very, very important point that we are going to see here, and that point says the variable for dividing the whole population into different strata. Now again, if we take the example of the previous slide, the variable on the basis of which the school students or the club members were divided, the variable was gender. So whenever stratification is done, it seems to be very simple. Why? Because the whole population has to be divided into groups. So the whole population can be divided into any number of groups. It can be divided into two groups, can be divided into three groups, can be divided into four or maybe more than four groups. So what is the difficulty, or where is the difficulty? The very, very important point, as I have said, is very, very crucial, is how you are dividing the whole population. The population has to be divided on a predetermined variable. Variable is something which keeps on changing. So we say that stratification is very, very important, but then it has to be divided on the basis of predetermined variable. Now why this is important? We say this is important because it ensures the adequate number of strata. Now the stratas in which, or the groups in which we are dividing the populations cannot be very, very small in number or cannot be very, very large in number. If my elements will be divided into n number of groups, then it is as good as going and taking a survey on population. And if my stratas are very less in number, then again there is no point of taking sampling as a procedure. So your variable has to be chosen in such a way that the adequate number of stratas can be formed. Now how variables can be chosen? Again, we'll take few examples and we'll understand that. Moving ahead, let us see the following case. The aim here is to find the expected placement choices of management students, a class of 60 college students that can be divided into different stratas on the basis of n number of variables. Now if we assume that there are 60 college students who are studying in a management institute, there has to be a survey which wants to find that what are their expected placement choices, as in after their course is over, where do they want to go and serve, in which company do they want to work. So if we assume that the total population or the total number of elements in the population is 60, what can all be the variables on the basis of which we can divide the whole population into stratas? I'll show you n number of variables here and then we will discuss which one is most suitable. Talking about the variables, as you can see, there are 5 points, 5 options written here. The first one is a gender. That is, the class of 60 college students can easily be divided into 2 subgroups or 2 stratas, as in boys and girls, which will be based on gender. So the variable here is gender and the groups formed are 2 in number. Then from the group of boys and from the group of girls, we can conduct a survey knowing their expected choices of placement. Taking the second example, second variable says specialization. As in, we assume that if the students are studying in a management institute, they would be taking different specializations. To count on fingers, specializations can be marketing, finance, HR, IT and operations. So if you count how many stratas can be formed, basically 5 stratas can be formed on the basis of specializations. Now here there is no relation with the gender. Boys and girls both would be divided into different groups based on specializations. Now these specialization students again would have different placement choices, as in where do they want to go and serve for a particular corporate company. Looking at the third example, it says native states. Now every student